Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where and when you're watching this broadcast. I'm Thomas Fessler, my friends, and this is Disclosure Tonight. Happy Friday, everybody. Friday, November 14th. Would you look at that? We're just weeks away, days away from Black Friday. What do you have on your list of what you want to get? But until then, let's go ahead and see who the heck we have out there for our audience. Let me take a look at our audience. Here we go. Who are participants in the chat right now? Let's see. Let's welcome in Amiga Rules and Brian in here, as well as Brains, Charmanian, also known as Teresa, and Dave Quartertone is around. Eliza Teal, Firefly, and Geraldine Durazio. Good to see everybody today. Gizmo's here along with Gray Hair Discoveries. We got J-Cat, Joey Spades, Cap Crook, good to see you, my friend. Kelly Broten, those piercing blue eyes, good to see you. And our dear friend Laura, we miss you, Laura. Good to see you. Megan Betts is here along with Mr. X, Mr. Joey B. We've got Nancy K, Neil Morgan, and Niles Guy, our resident Pitbull. Good to see you, my friend. Paul DeMond's here along with Philip Shepard. Rainbow, also known as Jane, just dropped in the audience. We got Roni Deal, Rodney Cox, Ross Coldheart, Backside Probe. Rough Freddy's here along with Sam. Scooby Dooby Gooby is around along with Shelly Montgomery. Good to see you, Shelly. Big hugs. Also want to welcome in Steve Hines, the Super Unknown, the Chromosome Cowboy, Tim Tracy, Vern Dude, Wasteland Wanderer, Wendy Joe, Yell Tommy Tanker, also known as Andy, and got to put a shout out to Two Midgets on a Horse as well, because I know you're out there somewhere. On that note, let me go ahead and jump into the back and Mike, how the heck are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. Looks like we're going to have a very interesting show to talk about different things with the audience tonight.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, it should be a fun one tonight. Hopefully everyone out there got to see the Aurora Borealis, unless you live in the West Coast in Washington and Oregon and a bunch of places where it was clouded in heavily. Yeah, I got some pictures of some colored clouds at most, but it was a show for everyone in the United States, from sea to shining sea, from north to the south. Wow, it was a great time. Hopefully everyone out there had a chance to get out there and seeing it. It was a show of a lifetime. Well, not maybe, but for some people it may be. On that note, let's go ahead and Mike, I think we're going to start off today's show. Anna Polina Luna had a decent interview over on Newsmax talking about extraterrestrial life forms, saying the NHI is real, I believe. And she's also, doubling down, Mike, on interdimensional or multidimensional entities.
She is. And this is from information she got in various skiffs and research that the government has been doing on this for almost 80 years now. Right. You and I have been saying this for a long time publicly. So she's confirming it.
Well, it's nice to see the information and different things that we've been covering, Mike, come out as actually in the, getting closer to mainstream versus just being, discussed on live streams and in spaces over on X.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's nice to get confirmation of what is going on out there that they've been hiding this whole time.
Absolutely. Without any further ado, let me go ahead and drop into, I got that one there. Let's jump into, where am I going? Oh, yeah, full video. Here we go, folks. Let's go ahead and play this clip from Newsmax. Should be pretty interesting. Here we go, folks.
Joining us now for more, Florida Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. It's been a busy day, Congresswoman. Good to see you. At this point,
nice to see you too.
Who are these people who are still blocking the truth from the public?
Well, to our knowledge, it is definitely members of the intelligence community, and then also too, we were recently denied access out of the Department of War, stating that we didn't have access and the proper, need to know authorities to look at some of the classified footage that is out there. As you saw in that clip that you just showed, there's actually some footage that was dead dropped to Eric Burleson, of which he then provided it to the task force. And so all I have to say is, look, in the interest of national security and national defense, obviously this is something that we should question and look to find answers for, but also it also signifies a massive problem when you have elements within our own government that are denying access to Congress. And that is not just a bipartisan effort, this is bicameral, meaning the House and the Senate are both supporting this, both Democrats and Republicans. It's probably one of the few things that is bipartisan. And actually this week, I think it's going to be on this upcoming week on the 17th, there's going to be a movie coming out called The Age of Disclosure, of which Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in there talking about this exact topic, and I think everyone should watch it.
Let me ask you about that, and I will. You're on the record talking about, quote, non-human life forms that could be interdimensional beings who are visiting us. Can you just explain more to people at home what that might mean?
Yeah, so that's definitely a mouthful, but that is directly based on information that we've received from witnesses, also information that we have obtained and witnessed via our investigations. There's some stuff that I can't disclose of what I have immediately seen in some of these skiffs, but what I will tell you is this is not just some crazy conspiracy theory. Obviously, there's been massive reporting, not just in the United States, but around the world. And this is something that I think everyone kind of, has always had some curiosity about. We're just simply asking the questions.
Yeah, and it feels like we're building towards some sort of disclosure. I know many people are hoping that Donald Trump is president and that he's ultimately the person that allows that to happen. We just had the acting NASA administrator and transportation secretary, Sean Duffy, on this show moments ago. And I asked him about this, what they're calling a comet, 3I Atlas. Take a listen to his response.
The experts at NASA have said this is a comet. It walks like a comet, talks like a comet, struts like a comet. It's a comet. I know some people have said, listen, there's alien life on here, or that at one point they said it was going to hit the Earth. Not true. But it is a fascinating comet.
There's no conspiracy.
You mentioned Kim Kardashian, so I wanted to clarify that. No, there's no conspiracy theory.
You did. All right. So, Congresswoman, NASA has yet to release the photos. They're releasing other photos every day. They blame the shutdown. They've yet to release the photos. Do you buy that from Sean Duffy?
Yeah, I actually had a conversation with NASA because I was helping Avi Loeb, who's actually a Harvard astrophysicist who's been looking into this for some time.
Right.
And remember, this is going to be one of many objects that we're going to be getting through that are interstellar because of the technology that we have now. So there are some anomalies about the comet, like, for example, it lost its tail, which is pretty much one of the first that we've ever seen. But I do believe that it's a passing through comet. And so I don't think that we are going to have any contact with any non-human intelligence yet. But the ruling's still out there on what this is. Yeah.
Well, along those lines, before we get too far, let me jump back into the interview. All right. Mike, one of the things that's interesting about this, earlier today, or about 7 hours ago or so, I think maybe longer at this point, it's actually being confirmed from space.com, Live Science, New York Post, and AccuWeather even, that 3I Atlas, after its encounter with the sun, and probably some of the if you want to call it coronal mass ejections, it has now broken into three pieces. Be interesting to see what happens to those three pieces after this happens, Mike.
Yeah, it would be, because now when it got in close proximity to the sun, it must have heated up to a degree where it lost its structural integrity and came apart. But hopefully they're going to be on the same trajectory, those three pieces. We don't want them pinballing all over the solar system.
Oh, ping-ponging and then bumping into an asteroid that then bumps into two more asteroids and so on and so on until everyone's singing Caligon, Take Me Away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Let's hope.
Yeah. And by the way, ancient Chinese secret was woolite. Just saying.
Yeah. That's an oldie, but a goodie.
Back in the days, my friends. All right. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's show, let me go ahead. I've got a video here I want to go ahead and quickly play, coming from Suspicious Observers, getting down and giving us a recap of the solar storm that we just went through, what the micronova might be looking like. That's when the sun dims out and then sheds its skin and sends it flailing everywhere throughout the solar system and, well, causing havoc on Earth. Apparently, this is a repeat performance that happens on a regular basis. Let me go ahead and copy this link address, bring this one down. Actually, no. Get to that one. Come on, I want this one. Behave, please. Skip. I guess I already downloaded it. How about that? I'm ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and bring up this one of the latest videos from Ben Davidson over Suspicious Observers. He's been watching out for what's coming our way with the overall flip of the magnetic poles in the planet, what happens, how it can potentially temporarily reorient the Earth as it's rotating around. It's a crustal displacement that happens for a period of time before it kind of rocks back to where it goes. And at that point, sending giant waves cascading across all the continents of the world. let's go ahead and, if we can, play this video next, and then we'll get on to the main piece for tonight, going through a bunch of videos that we got from someone in our back, Greg, who's here, Greg O'Brien, who he recorded last week on his iPhone 13. All the XF data, everything is there. It all backs up. But what we've got is something that I could say I have never, ever seen anything like this before, and it blows my mind. For what that's worth, let's go ahead and on that one. We'll get to that in a second. Let's go ahead and play this clip from Ben Davidson and Suspicious Observers for a recap of the solar event that just happened. Here we go.
Good morning, folks. Welcome, observers. Most solar data access is actually down this morning, except for the old Proba 2 swap. You're seeing that here. Feels like space weather for cavemen, right? Still works, though. Today we're going over the end of the solar storm event of the week. We'll see amazing auroras, signs of deep plasma penetration, and a study that puts things into a neat package of a bigger picture from a physics standpoint of triggering magnetic storm activity, how that plays into the disaster cycle, and what the solar micronova might look like. Let's start with the solar wind. The initial impact a couple days ago was strong and struck with south-facing magnetism, blue line at the bottom of that part of the panel. That's what drives major geomagnetic storm conditions, and the bigger impact we had last night, which took plasma speed to 1,000 kilometers per second, had northern magnetism, so it did not produce major solar storms, even though it was in fact significantly stronger. This is a critically important point: the magnetic angle, north versus south, the magnetic pole flip within the solar wind electric field. You can see here why it matters for solar storm levels as much or more than the density and speed of the shock wave. The weaker shock wave here caused the bigger storm initially because of magnetism. By the way, the proton storms are waning back as well, should be just about done later today. And folks, this is the southernmost auroral shot from the event, the 13th parallel in El Salvador.
Wow.
Not supposed to be possible without a major G5 storm, but again, we're in the middle of a magnetic pole shift. On X last night, I said to look for pink aurora, and there was some confusion. It's not the red above the green, which can indeed sometimes look pink. Here's another example of the red above the green and some rare blue too. But this is what I meant: smaller scale, pink skirts on the bottom of the green tendrils. That's the pink aurora, and it signifies very deep plasma penetration. We got it in this solar storm, and again, that's only supposed to be happening in the biggest events, but again, we're losing the magnetic field during the pole shift. Interesting article today describing how these major solar storms do in fact require the magnetism of the shockwave to be pointed in a certain direction. It's easy to get caught up in solar flares, CMEs, and coronal holes, but the magnetic reversal of the solar wind matters a lot. And yes, folks, the galactic magnetic flip with the current sheet is exactly the same thing. Where the solar wind version causes magnetic storms at Earth, the galactic version is causing a magnetic storm in our entire solar system. We call it the disaster cycle, resulting in the solar micronova. And while a new animation is out showing what scientists think the first moments of a nova might look like, they've accidentally made it very easy to modify the file and video to make it look exactly how I believe the solar micronova is going to look, especially extended out and combined with other ESO production videos. This is what unlocks the crust for the pole shift, and whether that's ECDO or a Eulerian gyroscopic rebalancing, that shift is coming. Ethical skeptic Roger Cunningham and I are meeting in May at Observer Ranch for a summit and review and charting the path forward. Come out to Observer Ranch May 1 through 5, 2026. It's the event of the year. Tickets are below. Our winter tour starts in just over 2 weeks. 5 cities in 5 months. Links to those events is below as well. And of course, we are closing out the season at Observer Ranch. Last major event of the year is this weekend. August Dunning will be there for the premiere of the documentary and the last pole shift conference of the year. Links to everything is below. The pole shift event with Ethical Skeptic, the winter tour, observerranch.com. We greatly appreciate your support. We'll do this all again tomorrow. Right here, but right now it's 5:30 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun. eyes open.
All right, there we go, Mike. Yeah, that should have given our audience a good idea of what happened with the solar events, what they were looking for, what we have coming our way. And yes, solar micronova may be in our future. Same with the crustal displacement. It's part of catastrophism, and it's something that was heavily redacted and covered up by the CIA back in the 50s, wasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, it was called the Adam and Eve book.
Adam and Eve story by Chan Thomas, correct.
Yeah. Now, Ben Davidson is talking about the pole shift. If that's begun, what is the usual duration for the poles to actually shift? What time frame?
The entire event, when the Earth can actually, when it goes to flip, right? It just, okay, what we've got going on right now is you've got the South Pole and the North Pole racing down to meet each other in the middle of the Indian, or in the eastern Indian Ocean, northeastern Indian Ocean. Once they meet, supposedly it combines in one pole and you get another pole on the opposite side of the planet, somewhere down on the opposite side and a little bit north of South America, right?
Yeah.
When that happens, it's not like all of a sudden, look at this, we've gone from this is now south and this is now north. No, you'll get into a new configuration where there's different north poles and south poles. There may be many north poles and south poles all over the planet. And, there's been times where they've looked back in the geological record where the Earth has been without a magnetic field for up to 700 years. And that's when there's no magnetic field and there's stuff coming from the sun or from the universe, if you want to call it, the cosmic rays, all of that stuff comes down to the surface. And that could potentially explain the ancient cities of Petra or Derinkuyu in Turkey and other places where you have it, where you can fit tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people to live underneath the surface of the Earth. And the way these places are set up, Mike, it's not to go ahead and protect people from other humans, because there's areas where there's actual light can come in and air can come in and everything. And there's ways that humans could easily get their way in. No, Mike, this is a way to go ahead and protect humans from whatever was decimating the surface of the planet, which we may be heading back that way again. And our governments most likely know about it, because if you look at all the billionaires out there, Mike, they're building bunkers up high in the mountains, except Mark Zuckerberg, who created one underneath in Hawaii that isn't going to do so well.
Why are you busy? Doesn't sound like it.
No,
but magnetic field is weakening already.
There's the South Atlantic magnetic anomaly that's been growing and getting huger, and it's almost eclipsing at this point most of, if you want to call the northern half of South America and part of Central America as well. And that basically, where that happens, there is a lot of cosmic rays, because the magnetic field is weakened in that area. It allows cosmic rays to actually get down to the surface, and a lot of actual satellites have to go ahead and shut down when they're flying through the area, or they risk get blown out.
So it seems like the beginning of a catastrophic phase is ongoing at this time.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, my friend. All right. Without any further ado, let's get on to what, if we're going to call this one of the main things we're going to be talking about here today, is let me get out my evidence and move it out of the way and get this here so we can go ahead and take it.
I added someone new to the chat, Thomas.
Hold on, Nick. What's the news, Nick?
Like I said, I added someone new to the chat. His name's Paul.
Paul in the chat, in the actual show chat, or the back chat here?
Yeah, back chat.
Okay.
Back chat, the new one.
Hello, Paul. He's a person from Nigeria. I told him about aliens. Okay, cool. Well, welcome, Paul. Welcome to the show. We've got something interesting I want to get onto here now, and we can talk about. Has he seen stuff down in Nigeria before?
No, because I don't think so. No.
Okay, cool. Well, welcome aboard. Let's go ahead and have some fun now. What we're getting into next is a dear friend of the channel, someone who I've known since almost the start of Disclosure Tonight, Greg O'Brien. He's been around for a bunch of different interviews with very impactful people. He's asked the right questions. Really great guy. And when he was out and about in, where is this? Rockville, I believe, Maryland. He was going and he came outside probably for a cigarette break or something. And when he looked up and looked out, he saw something hovering out in the distance and he recorded it. Not just one video, not just two. We've got 3 or 4 videos that we can go ahead and go through here today. And he sent it to me. It's like, oh, wow, I saw this thing. It's moving. It's moving around. Now, when Greg was looking at the stuff with his eyes, he never saw this thing disappear once. But as it was moving along, we look at it frame by frame by frame at 30 frames a second. It even threw ChatGPT for a loop, and I can't wait to go ahead and share what it thought it was based on the analysis of the stuff. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into something where I can go ahead and walk through some of this stuff. I think this should work for right now. All right. I don't need these things here. Move these down a little bit more out of the way. Actually, let me just do this here. It'll be easier. Come on. There we go. Let's just move this up a little bit. Okay, here we go, and take it up to the top. All right, so there we go. We have a map of Washington, D.C. Up in Rockville, Maryland, looking to the northeast is exactly where Greg was at. So much so, I can take that position and bring it up and put it on Google Maps and replicate the exact shots he had going from his video. Let me go back to where I'm at here again, bring it back into it. All right. Looking out this way where you can see we got a telephone pole, another telephone pole with transformers, and Greg is now looking to the northeast at this point. And what Greg kind of saw, if I bring up, let me get this map out of the way. Let me get this one out of the way. Let me bring up one of the initial videos just to help. Oh, God, what did I do with that? Don't want that. Anyway, this was directly across the street from there, kind of zoomed in. And if I get back to the beginning of this particular video, there it is. Okay, so off in the distance, there is a little dot that's there. Let me go ahead and increase the size of this so you can see it a bit more. And let me go ahead and zoom on in. This is the original video, and I'll show you some other stuff that I've put together based on it. Now, if I bring up the time code and I can watch where we're at, let's start it back at the very beginning. You know, Greg's camera is moving around a little bit. He's not running on a tripod, which is absolutely fine. You don't expect people to be running on a tripod, but at least he was there and he captured the stuff that we're about to show. So let's go ahead. We've got it zoomed in. As we're going along, it's kind of standing stationary. We're seeing it kind of drifting one way or the other. It's just, again, this little black dot that's there. And we get about, where did it show up? We're a little more than 2 seconds in. And one of the first things that shows up is we're getting like this kind of a tail kind of a thing coming straight down from the object. You're also seeing the object itself is right here, but there's something that's putting this glow around it that's similar to what's been seen in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico in the past. So as it moves along, let me move this into here. Okay. The first thing we see it do is we see duplication going on. Now, this could be interlacing from the actual video codec itself, but down the road, you're going to go ahead and see it. That's no, if you want to call it video effects. It's actually the craft of what we're looking at. As it moves along, it goes invisible. And then, where the object was, let me go ahead and we see this grid pattern going on. It's there for 3 frames. And then we get this. And I caught this with my eye when I was looking through this stuff. I always look at this stuff on a 10-foot screen. Makes it kind of easy to pick stuff out. But then I saw this with like a circle here and more circles going with and other indents and things going on with it. And I was like, what the fuck is that? I've never ever seen anything like this except like crop circles and shit. It's not there. It's there and it's gone. And here's the object. An orientation to that piece. Now, Jay, go ahead.
I was just going to say that, yes, that is extremely rare to see that kind of an image right there. It blew my mind that you found that in that video. I have only seen that in the 8 to 10 years I've been with MUFON. I've only seen that 2 other times in probably 900 to 1,000 cases I've done.
All right. So now here I've taken it in, if you want to call it Final Cut Pro. After I saw this, I wanted to see what was there, right? So I put it in Final Cut Pro, put something on it called an X-ray filter that takes lights, dark lights, it kind of flips it around, put additional contrast into it, increase the sharpness, but that's it. No AI, nothing to go ahead and redo the pixels to bring out the details. But this is what we're seeing. And there's a lot more than this, but taking this little piece, and if I can find it here, putting it into... Oh, not that one.
It also makes a lot of sense because look at the actual symmetry of the objects, of what you're seeing. Like it has a lot of symmetry to it.
Right. Exactly. It's not just that. Let me refresh.
It looks like it has some depth to it. It's not just a cloud or something.
Right. Now, I took this picture of that size, right? And I uploaded it to ChatGPT, and I was like, what the hell is this? Should have another screenshot that I took of it. Let me find it earlier. Okay, it's not... Where the hell did I do with that? I know I created a image, and I sent it to ChatGPT. Son of a bitch. Anyway, I took the original image that you see below it, sent that to ChatGPT, sent it along with this one, and basically it came back with a really interesting analysis. Okay, first thing it starts off is says what it's not. It's not birds, it's not insects, it's not balloons, a lens flare, compression artifacts. It's not dust, raindrops on a lens, pixel blocks, glare, normal clouds, bokeh, or aircraft exhaust. None of these create a uniform circular patterns at clouds distance multiple times, because there's multiple times this thing shows up in single isolated frames. 2 things it's pointing out that it says it could be, Jay, is one is refractive cloaking or transparent object anomaly, which is come from UAP adjacent reports. Especially coming from military and civilians describing dimple arrays. UAPs appearing as sets of faint circular depressions arranged in grids or honeycomb patterns visible for only a frame or 2.
Yes, exactly. Exactly right. Exactly right, Thomas. It's very interesting to see the wow, that's an interesting shot there.
But there's going to be more. There's going to be more that's going to blow your mind.
Well, it's just if it's in more than one frame and it's like it's the same image over and over again of that impression into the clouds, and you get that same symmetry and same everything. It is an object. It is something there, whether it is using cloaking or some kind of other transparent technology. It's doing something. Here's
another shot that happened when it was there for 2 frames. It was there for a total of 3 frames. It faded in and faded out over 3 frames.
Okay, maybe at this shot you're looking at the side of the craft now because it turned to the side. You're looking at the skin
maybe,
from the
but
side.
there's also different times in the videos where we're going to see a bunch of horizontal lines that are there around the craft as well. So there's something. Let me get back to the description coming from ChatGPT. The next one is potentially an optical phase slip. That's when a transparent or partially cloaked objects interact with humidity layers, background light, or infrared versus visible light movement. This results in ghostly geometric impressions in the clouds that appear suddenly, vanish instantly without clear movement. This is what these frames actually reveal. Now, these patterns have been repeated in the Agua Dia, Puerto Rico footage. They call them IR bubbles. In multiple Navy accounts where they called it a rippled cloak or a honeycomb surface. There have been civilian sky photographs from the 2010s to the 2020s and FAA reports, namely where they call it air dimpling or structured shimmer. Now, the other thing this could potentially be is microlensing by a partially invisible object. You hear the kind of where they're going? They're talking about cloaked craft, partially invisible, that for some reason, when this object goes invisible, then we can see the stuff that's around it. Now, I have a video that's a little bit better to see that
or what you're only seeing is the ball, and what the object really is when it goes invisible is seen by the clouds around it.
Right.
Around the,
Now, this has been explained by Matthew Zadegas, who's part of the UAPX crew. He works with Dr. Kevin Knuth. They're all physicists. And he's talked about in conversations recently that we had with him that anytime you're seeing, let me get back to it here, an orb, it's usually accompanied by a much larger craft. And and more importantly, the craft that we've got there that we were showing, that craft is invisible to the eye. It's invisible to radar. The only thing that can see it, Jay, is a $12,000 low-resolution camera from FLIR that costs about $12,000.
Well, I will say a person for you to get a hold of, Greg, would be Dr. Andrew Morgan in Australia of NGR Scapes Labs.
Yeah, we can get there, yeah.
He's doing UAP research into orbs and into rods.
Right.
And it's phenomenal. He's got peer-reviewed papers out there right now.
Yeah, and Matthew Zadegas is another scientist who's working on this that we want to go ahead and bring in. He's a friend of Mike's and I's. And now one of the things that's interesting is, let me go ahead and just do this without leaking any information about Greg.
Or anybody that's working with plasma.
Yeah, well, plasma, yes, that could be the sphere itself. Not the sphere of the orb, but this larger craft is much, much larger. Now, just to go ahead and show it, these videos came from Thursday, November 13th, 2025 at 4:07 p.m. local time. The resolution of the video was 3024 by 4032. Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
Greg, you've got higher resolution videos of this on your camera, on your phone?
Absolutely.
When you sent it to me, it down-resed it. So we need to get the higher resolution videos so we can see what's there.
Yeah, that's why I need to share that with you, because the ones I see are totally different than the ones.
Right, because when you're sending it, it's down-resing it because it's a large file. If you're on Wi-Fi and everything, you go to send it, you click on the button when you go to send it, you say original size, and it'll send the really large file.
Or just put it into a Google Drive as the original file.
No. He's on an iPhone right now, and if you put it into Google, Google re-encodes the video. We don't want to re-encode anything. We want to keep the video original and pristine.
Agreed.
Yeah. I didn't realize until I seen it that he was on an iPhone.
Oh yeah, that's fine. But we can get it across, and it shows the focal length, everything that's there, the device, and the whole thing. So this is how we know these videos were taken from the device, sent directly to me, because it says it was sent. The original files were sent, and it actually has Greg's phone number on there that we're not going to share. Yeah,
that's exactly what any investigator would want right there in front of you.
Exactly. Now, if I take this and I go back to Finder for a second, and I take one of the videos that I redid in Final Cut Pro. There we go.
At higher resolution, these images are going to be a lot sharper and clearer.
Well, of course they are, yes. So I put the time codes on it. Here's the overall object. Now, if I go back in time, you can see the object's a lot brighter. Now, there's been no change. There's been no, if you want to call it, manipulation of the pixels that are there, except sharpening the image, putting on an X-ray filter, which takes dark and turns it light, takes light and turns it dark. Then I increased the contrast and manually adjusted some of the levels to make the detail pop out. So if we go along now and watch it, I'm at 2 seconds and 21:30. This is going through it. So right around 3 seconds, it disappears. It's gone for a frame, comes back, and then we got a duplication. Duplications, there's going to be a lot of those down the road. We go a little bit farther, it goes to disappear, but this is where, right in here, we're seeing that grid pattern kind of show up.
You know what? Is the orb going into an object, not disappearing?
No, it's not. It's
You think the object? Maybe the object is invisible. And the orb is going along
take the principles that were learned from the Aguadilla, Puerto Rico incident.
Okay.
Depending on the movement of the object, right?
True.
Relative to the observer, you will get the object to where it gets the light coming from behind it. It wraps around it because it has a gravitational warp field there and comes out the other side. That'll give you invisibility. Depending on how this object is moving relative to the observer, you'll also get periods of duplication or tripling or more that happen when you're seeing this stuff. And we've got a bunch of videos on that to go ahead and get to as well. So now if I go into it, we've got that grid coming in, and then we've got the actual... That's the thing that shows up that you look at that. And if you look at it, you've got the big circle here, another big circle here. It's been cut off, but whatever it is...
I would try to sharpen that as much as I could and see what that image would actually come into play.
I have.
Oh, you have?
This is sharpened. It was sharpened. It was inversed with X-ray. And then I put a contrast filter on there. Then I went to a color adjustment, didn't adjust any of the colors, just adjusted some of the levels manually to make it so...
galaxies or anything or any star maps that match that?
Oh, this is... I don't think so. I mean, we've got...
No, I'm not saying it's a star or anything. I'm saying it's in that kind of a pattern.
Or, kind of Tim Senor last night, Anonymous Rex in the chat said, that almost looks like crop circles.
Yeah, actually it does too. It does. Because I can see like a half moon there on the right side as well too.
But that half moon, if you look at it, is the exact shape of this one here. It's a mirroring. Yeah. If you were to cut off this particular object and put it over here, which means this overall object could be much larger in size.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to see like the real high-res version.
And I'm not sure if this is an effect of the camera, but after that entire area where it came through comes out blank, and then the object comes back.
Yeah. It might be an effect, and it might not be on that one.
Right.
But it's still, that's a wow. Great job, Greg, on capturing that. Great job.
And he didn't even know this stuff was here. All he saw, here's another one where you're getting it to go down and to the right, popping back in the distance as it gets smaller from there to there. And then it's back
like
here.
It zooms out far away and then zooms back in or something from the camera.
Correct, yes.
Wow. Great job, man. Great job. Great capture, man.
And the stuff usually shows up when the object is... Go ahead, Greg. Invisible.
I was actually a half a second away of just ignoring it all. And it's like going back inside. But then something, I looked at him, the first thought, okay, is it going away? Is it come towards me? Then, other thoughts. But yeah, I'm glad I got it, man. Thank you guys for all your analysis, Thomas.
So it starts here on this one, Greg, and then it pops over here when it comes back in a couple seconds, clearly moving from one place to the next. Disappears again. I'm just trying to keep this all here so we're not going to lose anything. And this is one of the things we've seen a bunch of times across all the videos, is these horizontal lines, Jay, that go across.
I've seen
that ChatGPT describes as
vertical contrails.
No, it was, where's the background light, humidity layers? No. No, that's not it. Hold on.
I don't know. ChatGPT is getting pretty smart now.
Well, no, trust me, it's a lot of times, a lot of the questions I ask that are difficult, and it always comes back with hallucinations.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. I think
ChatGPT.
Was it ripples or something that it basically came out and said? But yeah, this pattern.
Air ripples or cold air current ripples.
Yeah, but that just doesn't.
It does not track with it because you see cold air current ripples not in one area. You'd see it all over the sky, not just in one.
So there's the object popping out again. As it's going through this stuff, it's got that little thing that pops up. And here's the thing. As we look at the overall scan around the entire video, the only place where we're seeing any of these distortions is right where in relation to the object.
Yep, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It couldn't be the cold air currents in the top, creating those lines, because it's only in one section of the clouds. Yeah. And here we've got something vertical kind of showing up in the same way, a repeating pattern that goes on as it disappears. That looks like a microchip right there. Yeah. Like a microchip design. Oh, yeah. Let's move on from here. Not sure how far. Wow. A lot of good stuff in this video. Yeah, it is. Let me zoom out of this a bit more. Oh, shit. I actually went and put... Where am I at? How many seconds in am I at on this one? Let me take a look. I'm at 13 seconds in. Let me get to the video where I don't have the time code on it. And I'm at how many seconds in again? 13 seconds in. Let me bring this other one up. Bring it 13 seconds in. So I'm not going to have my time code there, but we don't really need it right now anyway, because we're just checking this thing out. All right. Let's continue. Oh, is this the one where I came across? Now, is this over the ocean, or is this over like where are you looking right now, Greg? He's looking north. Go ahead, Greg.
No, go ahead, man. Take it away.
No. I'll bring up the map. You were looking northeast.
Yeah, and there's nothing over. The only thing, and plus, what you're not seeing, there's so much more information. Like even just like the raw footage. There's tops of the trees to show wind. I actually got two airliners, which I believe were let me see, they were ascending from BWI airport. So there's definitely air traffic, civilian in the background, to where we can also get more information from, and plus it gives you a little bit more perspective because you can see an aircraft and then this object. There's so much information in these videos, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I would dig more into the aircrafts, because usually when you see a lot of, like even one or two aircrafts in the area in a UFO, it could be a military aircraft. Check
but Jay, look where it is.
Yeah, no, I know my aircraft, and these were civilian.
Look where it is, but look where it is, Jay, in relation to Washington, D.C. Here's Bethesda and everywhere else. If there's any particular
major air traffic area.
It's heavy air traffic, but more than that, this is like Spookville around here.
True.
CIA, FBI, they're all there in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, wow. There ain't nothing in that direction, so you're looking straight at clouds, and wow.
Now, we didn't go over this one last night, but this is something else that I noticed. Here's the object, right? Look at this frame. You've got 2 objects that have appeared. It goes to here, and there's some kind of structured thing going along with it. And there it goes here off it, and you've got that same kind of three things, and it's gone. What the fuck was that? Oh, no, actually, there it is. Let's zoom out.
It's zipping off or something, maybe. Ooh,
so,
whoa, there it goes. Look,
it's
going through the clouds.
So here we go. Here's the first one. Here's the second one. Here's the third one. Here's the fourth one. There is the fifth one and the sixth one. Basically, you're seeing something skipping through time and space. It's appearing here, appearing here.
Exploded, Greg. Okay, I gotta see the other video of this.
Which other video?
The higher res, because oh my god.
I know. That's why, when it was like I got the question, what do you think this is? And I'm just like, what is this? And I'm like, I don't know. It's different.
What's the distance between, what's the time between it going from the top to you see it from the bottom to the bottom to the bottom? What is it, seconds?
Okay, no. I'm in 30th of a second intervals.
Okay.
1/30th.
Skipping through time.
Next 30th. Next 30th here.
It's skipping.
Next one here. Yeah. Next one here.
Oh my god.
Next one here. We're not seeing it moving. It's literally skipping. Boom, 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 boom.
Thomas, you hit it right on the money. It's skipping through time, it looks like. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then it's gone. And that's the only, again, I saw this stuff when I was, looking at the big 10-foot screen because it makes it a lot easier. And now I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is this? Seriously. So let's go on more back down in the area where the object is. That's where I've been focusing, but goddamn, there may be more things going on bigger out that we haven't seen as we continue on. How far are we? We're only 15 seconds into.
There's so much going on in this video. It's not even funny.
Another duplication event going on. And look who's back. What that looks like that object again. Where you've got the four little things and the bigger thing in the center and the other ones repeating. There's that object again.
But it changed from the top to the bottom.
Its orientation has changed a little bit, potentially.
Yep.
Yeah. If I go back and bring up the other videos we had, the other videos we shots we have of it, you can see we've got those two there, which are those two. We've got these two here, which is these two, and then we've got the depression in the center for the dimples. And then there's another one, but we're only seeing the one up here, which relates to the one up there as well. So you can kind of say it's potentially the same freaking thing that we're looking at. And now it's gone. Again,
exactly.
Whenever this shows up for 1/30th of a second, and it's gone.
Wow, it's just it's really amazing. It really is. I'll be quiet. I'll let some other people,
No, keep on talking because I don't think Andy, you had your hand up before. What say you, my friend?
If I can find my mute button, really, really interesting. Yeah, it was the comment you were saying with the 5 concentric circles. I wonder whether there ever has been a crop circle that it would, align to. Just looking into seeing whether actually there is some correlation, or it's probably none whatsoever. But certainly, I've never seen anything like this. Never seen videos or anything on YouTube or anywhere.
No.
Like so really, really good capture, Greg. Really good.
Here we go.
Really good.
Check this out. As it's moving around, we've got that grid pattern again. Almost looks like a freaking checkerboard. Let me get into here, zoom in a bit more. Here we go. It's not there. There is that pattern again. Can you see it? It looks like a checkerboard.
Yes, it seems it seems to be throwing off several different patterns.
Right.
You've as you just said, you've got the checkerboard one there. You've got these circular ones.
And then we got the horizontal ones as well. So there's 3 different gravitational effects. It's almost kind of like you're looking at the clouds, but the clouds are having some kind of gravitational wave effect or something that's affecting it for a very short amount of time, that the reality is kind of bleeding through in the stuff they're trying to cloak from us.
Yeah, interesting. Really good, Greg. Yeah. Envious of you, mate.
Gene, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, I just want to, jump in with a couple of things, and really, Greg, if you're staying on after, for the after chat, it's probably the better time to address it. And I think Tim knows what I'm going to be talking about here. The weather at the time, based on that video, the structure, the way this is coming out, I think we have a tremendous opportunity with this to attach some science to it, that everything that, is being discussed, Jay's talking about all the rest of it. I think we have the ability to attach the science to it, to explain it, because it's so clear. It's so, that phasing in and out aspect of it. Absolutely great, tremendous video. And Thomas, if you can you bring up that map real quick of the location?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
We touched on it earlier about what's in the area and a couple of other things.
But I can go ahead, and I think I've got it here somewhere in Google Maps. I can actually bring it up on Google Maps and show it there. Give me a second here. Go ahead and bring this up. And I'll bring it up somewhere. Here we go. Here it is on Google Maps on Street View. Let me pull back. And there you go. So Greg is Greg is basically right here. No, he's over here at the... Greg is right here by the auto dealership, and he's looking at these buildings here off in the distance. But if you look here and go off in this direction, there's not a lot of anything that would be out here. You got the Well Church, the Wood Edge Apartments, the Creek Center and stuff, but it's not like there's any potential, if you want to call it military things, that are in this area. It's all more residential than anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, what you do have around there, though, if you notice Silver Spring, Maryland, on the other map, that's Silver Spring is where Andrews Air Force Base is. And then Fort Meade, which might be a little bit further off in D.C., is the headquarters of DIA.
Right.
But I know there's also some other facilities up there in the that area. So, I mean, it's from that perspective, there's a lot of interesting things around there, as you said.
There's no smoking gun.
No.
But the only thing we can possibly say as a smoking gun is, well, look to the south of this thing, and you're not that far from Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something. What it is, I have no clue. Except that, holy shit, what are we looking at? Now, if I go into... Now I'm going to have to do this live because I haven't screwed with any of these videos yet, but I want to make it where people can go ahead and see it. Let me go ahead and find this next video I've got here. I believe it's... This one is the next one we're going to look at, which is 112. This one I have not processed yet. I could process it, potentially. Let's just take a look at it. What I'm going to do is... we can all see what we're looking at here in this particular area. This is where the object is. And I'm going to turn off the back chat because they're going to look really funky lately, because I'm going to go into this particular surface and I'm going to go to filters, and I don't have an effect filter. Let me go ahead and throw in a sharpen. And I'm going to throw this up higher, basically reproducing what I've got No, that's the wrong one. That's emotes. I want to get to chat capture. Is that it? No, that ain't it. That's it. Okay. I'm going to go to that one, go to filters. There we go. And I think sharpen is there. Color correction is there. Is that it? Oh, I don't know if I did this yesterday. Actually, I need to take the brightness down a bit. And I want to take the saturation, turn it down a bit. And I just want to bring it up so we can see what's going on in that particular area. There we go. Now let me get in here. And I have to go ahead and create something so I can actually go ahead and see it as I'm actually doing this, so I can have a reference point. Give me a second, folks. I need to go into here, and I need to go.
You said earlier that Bethesda, Maryland was the naval hospital, right?
Correct. That's basically the big thing there.
No, the big thing there is a private military industrial complex facility called Lockheed Martin. That's in Bethesda, Maryland.
They may have something at that location then.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Kyle, your hand is up. And just to go ahead and show people, this is our audience. This is the original image. And now I've darkened this stuff up so we can see what's going on around it. I'm not making any modifications to the images or anything whatsoever, but let me just get into here, and I need to go ahead and turn off. Well, Gene's going to look funky right now, and I don't even know what the hell I'm looking like, but that's fine. We'll go ahead and get to it because I want the audience to see what we're dealing with. So now let's get down to this thing. And this is the one where it duplicates the fuck out of itself. So initially starting into it, all of a sudden we see it going ahead and duplicating itself. We're getting multiple versions of the object that are showing up as it's moving around. Kyle, go ahead.
What's the date and time on it?
Date and time is November 8th, 2025 at 5:56 p.m.
I thought it was November 7th. It was last Friday.
No, November. It shows on the HEIC file is November 8th, 2025 at 5-something p.m. Let me go to the Friday. Actual movie itself. It's November. Last opened November 8th. Everything points to November 8th.
Okay, well, it's whatever the last Friday was, and it
they're all November 8th at around 5:55 p.m.
You tell me, dude. No, what I'm telling you is it's from 3:43 p.m. to 4:04 p.m. That's when it was shot in that time frame. I'm telling you, I was there.
I know. I'm just saying, it could be because I'm on a different time zone. What it's showing from the file information, that's all I'm reading from, and that's what iOS thinks it is. So I'm just going off of what's in the, if you want to call it, what's in the file.
Timestamp.
Well, it's the EFIX data that defines what is in the file and what's there. And that's one of the important things. If you want to maintain the secrecy of a particular sets of data, you have to look at all the data, is all the stuff that's there. So let's go ahead and move on. Now, let me just get this.
If you got the exact time, I'll backtrack flights and satellites.
Yeah, sure. But also, it's cloudy and it's daytime, so we're not going to be able to see anything unless there are things flying around. But check it out, Kyle.
No, we can see stuff because I got, like I said, for the sixth time now, I got one of the videos has aircraft, civilian aircraft flying, which I believe are departing from BWI. So there you go.
303 to what?
3:43 to 4:04 p.m. BWI taking off departure, and it's a rare takeoff because there's only like 2 to 3 planes per hour that take off. I noticed that way.
All right. Okay. So the object disappeared here for a while, and we're not seeing a lot of stuff showing up except just some shuffling going in the background environment until finally it pops up. And when it does, we've got 2 objects that are there along with it, and then it goes from the object on the right. Goes to the object on the left, the object on the right disappears, becomes the primary. A duplication effect going on. Now, this is interesting. It's not duplication. You've got the original object here, right? And then you've got 1, 2, 3 additional objects that are showing up. But when that's happening, there are those horizontal lines showing up again. Which could mean
it's moving at a high rate of speed. It's skipping.
Well,
like you said before.
This isn't it just going those were the big objects that were skipping through time. This is something we're watching, and all of a sudden it goes from one object right here, and it goes instantly to 4 objects. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it goes back to 2 and then back to 1. Remember, I said where all this distortion's going on, that's the primary object. And sure enough, that is the primary object moving along. Let's go on with a bit more. All right, we've got 2 objects going on, 1 back to 2 again. And this particular video, what we're seeing is mostly just, if you want to call it, the duplication effect coming in from the object along with those potential lines that are going. I think we might get the round objects showing up right here. 1, 2, 3, and another one here on a different angle. It may have changed angles and then it's gone. Oh, get back to here. And that's at the end of the video. So this one had a bunch of duplication going on, not necessarily like we were seeing in the first one. Actually, wait a second. How did I miss this? I must have skipped around. What the hell did I do? I went from the beginning to the end of the video really quick, and somehow I skipped along. All right, this goes ahead right here. And as it moves along, we got the duplicates going on. Now, Greg, you had mentioned you were seeing a tail behind it sometimes, right?
I did see a tail at sometimes. Sometimes when it's really cloudy, you see a contrail going underneath it. The contrail is like really dark. It was something like that, and then it disappeared. It looked like a kite tail almost.
Yeah.
And also, when you're done with this, can you please describe for us dullards out here what the duplication effect is? Please?
Duplication effect is when an object that has... Actually, you know what? Let me get to this. Let me just do this in the right way. Rather than... where's Chrome? Let me get to... 1 second. Okay. This is the reference site, uaptheory.com. Let me go into here then again, what I've got going on here, and turn off my filter. Where in hell my filter's at? I put it in another window. I can't find it. Chat capture. That's not it. That's not it. That's it. Turn off color correction. All right, let's just get into this for a second. Duplications. Here we go. You want to get into duplications? What are we saying? Duplications. This is coming from the Aquadia, Puerto Rico incident that happened a while ago. Remember that in order... where is it at? Duplications one more time. Remember that in order to navigate the craft, it needs to change geometry of the distortion field, thus changing the gravitational lens. This causes light from the object to be lensed towards or away from the camera in different ways, changing the apparent shape of the object. During the video, you can see several moments where a mirage of the object appears right above it upon slow motion inspection. We find the mirage appears out of thin air, being transparent at first and then becoming stronger, sometimes replacing the original shape of the craft entirely. These are akin to Einstein crosses. We can see that the shape shows up when the craft is moving a particular way, up and away from the observer, and it disappears when the craft changes its flight path or levels out, but it is difficult to see exactly due to the motion of the camera. And these are several instances that we're showing here that are coming from the Aguadilla, Puerto Rico incident where they had duplication events going on. Does that help answer the question? Kind of what it's about?
Absolutely, man. Thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the culmination of all the different, if you want to call it, things that we've run into over time that helps us understand what we're seeing. And when it's been reproduced in different areas, you know, invisibility, we already described that, and that was basically just following the overall definition coming from there. So we saw the object going on the end. Let me get back into here again and turn on my color correction. Here we go, so we can see a little bit better. We've got the object with the noticeable line coming out from the back of it. We've got lines popping down, and honestly, a lot of the times when we're seeing these lines and things popping out of it, pareidolia pops in to where it looks like we're seeing faces. And this isn't the first time or the last time that we're going to be seeing this popping through in the distortions that are coming around when this craft is actually moving. Here's another example of that grid pattern going on. Right around where the object is, there's one here and one here, which probably means this one's going to disappear maybe, and that one's going to become the primary. Let's find out. Nope, it didn't. Duplication again. Duplication again. Triple, 3 objects appearing. 3 objects appearing again, going back to 1. Going to 2, going to 1. Now, Greg, one thing that's interesting is here we've got that diagonal pattern going, right? Actually, you can't see it. Where is it at? We've got the diagonal pattern going right here, but where the object was, it's like a big area that's been blanked out, redacted from what we're looking at. And this is just the original footage that's coming from the iPhone 13 that you were recording with, untouched, unedited, but we're seeing these big blocks of stuff. It's like, Greg, what are they doing? Fucking with their phone or whatever's recording and just blocking out areas so it doesn't pick it up. But you can see one block here, another block here, another one here. We've got that diagonal grid structure going here and one's above it.
Sure, if it's electric. Sure, if it's electric. I'm sorry.
Mike, just wait. Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. If it's electromagnetic, of course, it's going to mess with our phones. But I believe this is actually around the actual object itself. Yeah. Creating like you're actually showing up like this. Like, what is this, man? Yeah. And then we've got the lines going below it. Again, those horizontal lines keep on appearing. You could say it's an effect coming from these lines, but it's something we don't see on a regular basis. And actually look down in this part here. Would you look at that? We've got that grid pattern going again. Does that mean the object that it's dealing with has moved lower in the field? And we've got another one with duplication going. We've got that going on. Let's go ahead and take a look a little bit higher around it to see what we've got going on. More duplication. Mike, you had you popped in before. You wanted to say something?
Oh yeah, I was just saying that Tia, have your food. You know, eat your food. We're all good. We can see you. Also, it's a weird for me because they're jamming the frequencies. So like I have a couple repeaters working right now, ham radio operator, and I do know that we should announce ourselves before we go on air. And so they're working overtime over here, man. I mean, I've got several repeaters are being jammed. It's kind of weird. It's a little funky.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks.
I don't know what else to say, guys.
Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that insight, Jay.
I don't know what else to say, man.
Yeah, Jay, I know, Jay. This is one of those things you look at, and I'm glad that you're here because you're a MUFON investigator. You've seen a bunch of different stuff like this. Again, if I go ahead and turn off right now the filters, this is what it looks like normally. This is what it looks like, and all we're doing is we're just darkening stuff up with contrast and increasing a little bit more resolution so you can see stuff with sharpness, but there's no manipulation of the pixels going besides color. Now, if we continue on going through this, duplication, going on from both sides. Triplication, there we go. And I think this one is mostly just, we're seeing more duplication effect going on. Now here we've got the horizontal lines appearing again. Closer down to the bottom horizontal line, so we can't get it there, but we can see moves across, comes back, right by the object, and then the object appears again. And this always seems to be when the object itself is like on, if this is the object, sometimes it's appearing like at this point in the object, or this point in the object, or this point, to where it's always on a corner, and you're seeing that object in association with it.
It's a really weird effect. It's almost like let me think, manipulating the fields around it.
Yes.
And you could see that in the video.
Yeah. And here you can see it where the actual white aura around the object is actually amplified, but then you're getting like a light pillar going down, projecting down from that object. Going into 3 now, all 3 of them.
Yeah, the
light pillar.
One is a duplication right there.
Yeah.
On the left.
You got one on the left that's here, and another one that's on the right.
Yep.
And they're all showing the same integrity. Now, and again, if we go out and look at the overall video, there's nothing else that's duplicating in anything that's here. It's only the object that we're seeing that's truly duplicating. And as Greg was watching these, he didn't see the stuff because it was happening so fast. Because a lot of these things, when you're seeing it, is only visible for 1/30th of a second, which means it's there and it's gone. You can't even see it.
You need an extremely fast camera to pick up the details.
Yep. There we go, 21 cents. All right, here it goes. The object is gone, but okay, let's count this, how long it's there. 1 frame, where you've got the 2 objects here, 2 objects here, another one in the center. 2nd frame, blurred out a little bit. 3rd frame, blurred out even more. 4th frame, coming back. 5th frame, coming back even more. 6th frame, fading out. 7th frame, maybe coming back a little bit more. 8th frame, still there. 9th frame, coming in with a little bit more detail. 10th frame, it's still showing 3 of them in this area.
The center of that
11th.
video seems like it's been blocked out as well from where those from where the shadows are coming down. You can see like the middle of that video is just a line of what? It's a line of white?
Yeah. It's a line of white, but if you look at with the color correction off, it's just everything is just blown out. But by darkening it up, we're able to go ahead and see the variances.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Go ahead and get this thing to come back.
Yeah, that was good. That's good.
Now it's gone for a while here.
But you're seeing don't right there on the left. Right there on the left, you're seeing the patterns.
I just got to mention real quick, if anybody's ever seen the movie The Communion by Christopher Walken, and they're asking the entities, you're not going to let us see what you look like? That's a good idea. We're never going to know.
Well,
Okay?
we might not, but what we're seeing here is a known type of behavior of craft where we can't see the craft visually, but it's there. But for some reason, when that orb that's there fades out, we're able to see these other objects. And when it comes in, the distraction continues. Nick?
Like the one that's in there right now on the left. You see that pattern on the bottom there?
Right here, yes.
Yep.
And it's still there now? Let's go ahead and see where this object is going to pop out at. Because it's fucking vanished. Let me zoom out.
Oh, there it is.
What?
I've seen it. Go back. It's right there between the pole and that black, that really black part. It came back. It came in there.
All right, I'm not seeing it yet. Let's just go ahead and play it. There it is. Okay, we got it back again. It just showed up right here.
Yep.
So let's zoom in. Okay, there we go.
And the lines are there too as well with the object.
Yep. Even above it, they're there.
Yep.
Let's go ahead now.
Appears, the lines still stay there, and then the object is still there. The lines disappear, and another object appears.
Right. And there it is popping into it, and then it's going around. There's a section in one of these videos we were looking at last night that Greg wanted me to find a copy of, where you can see it almost looks like those objects, or the duplications are almost going around the original object. We zoom out again. Figure out where the hell this thing went. There it is. It's back. Yeah.
Man, it just disappears and reappears on whatever you want.
All right, hold on, folks. I'll be right back. I need to hit the library for a second. Hold on. Interesting stuff. Talk about it, Jake.
Yeah, this is very interesting stuff. I feel it has something to do with the manipulation of the energies around the object, that it's causing the camera to pick up on these, I'll say, wave lensing effects of the video that you're taking. It's like a energetic wave that you can't see, but the camera's picking up on for a reason. It's a good camera though too. Even though it's on a phone, I've seen a lot crappier, resolution than that. Most people that send in stuff to MUFON are, 1080p. They're not really that high quality HD versions or anything like that. So good on you for this one.
Oh, definitely, it is. Now, there was another spot we were looking at last night of when the object shows up, it looks like there's a star around it at times. And this is another one of those where we've got the general object itself. You almost have like peaks going on the axes horizontally and vertically, but then you're getting more things that are popping up around it as well. And then you're getting that same effect duplicating off to the right where the original object was at, and then it pops back, and that effect is, and there it is again. Can you see that, Jay?
I go with what I said, that the object is messing with the way some kind of energy that's around the object is being messed with. The camera's picking up on it.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now it's vanished again for a period, and there it is back again. And now when it comes back, it's that shape again.
You see these also, I believe, these kind of shapes in plasma experiments as well. Maybe we should look into that as well. Plasma ball experiments. When you're looking at it, you can see the one ball and the other ball, and you see the wave in between. That's what it looks like right there.
And I'm going to go with, we have a small orb that's acting on its own, that's flipping back and forth in time and space. And when it goes to vanish, for some reason, a larger craft that's along with it is visible if you have something looking at it.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Let's bring this down a little bit more.
I just know 100% you're looking at energy waves that thing is manipulating by that camera.
And again, this is what it normally looks like. But when you go ahead and take a look that's there, then you can actually see the patterns that are happening in the clouds.
Or it could just be the frequency too, because they could be messing with the frequencies in that area around the craft.
And just going ahead in other areas of this, there is nothing like this going on in the sky anywhere else. Besides what the hell we've been looking at. Now I just need to freaking find this thing again. Hold on.
Now you gotta zoom back out.
There it is. It's right there. Need to come back in right here. I can see those objects again. Whatever the hell that is. There's the object again. The pattern disappears when that appears again, but now it still has that starburst kind of look to it. And now we have 3 of them. No, I'm sorry. We've got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it looks like it's that round shape again, but it's much larger of what's peeking through again. Let's see what the audience is saying about this stuff. Sorry, audience, I haven't been paying attention to you. Let's move on.
Really interesting stuff. Oh, wait, go back. Right there. Wait, go back. You can see like a shape in there, like a shippy kind of shape.
You mean we've got a circle there and a circle there kind of going on? I think it's just more of that same kind of effect we've seen before, yeah. And there was the object. Remember, we saw this thing over here. It's flinking over to here, and then that's where that object is, and then it goes to the next frame. All of that disappears, and all we have is the object again.
I swear that's plasma energy manipulation technology or something, because that's the only way I see that, because like I said, you see that kind of waves and experiments with plasma as well.
But it's also could be something we're seeing gravitational waves that are kicking in. Oh, yes. That's something more that's inclined to the Agua de Puerto Rico than anything.
True.
More duplication going on. Off to the left this time. Off to the right.
Yeah. There's that pattern.
There is that pattern again.
It's different this time.
Yeah, but still, it's a repeating pattern.
Oh, yeah. It's repeating. It's a pattern, but it's a different kind of pattern.
Right.
It's like triangles and a triangle diamond in the middle.
I'm still seeing the circular things kind of there with it, but it's just kind of part of the overall image of what we're seeing. And I've seen this in other videos before where we're actually getting an object like that. And you can see when it duplicates, we're getting that same effect of what we're seeing here for the structured craft, the structured object as well. Now we got it in 3. Now back to 2. Back to 1. We're getting that structured stuff around it again. Popped into 2, duplication of that same piece. Back to 1 with that piece again. And as we're looking at this, folks, we're going ahead and stepping through the video 1 frame at a time out of 30 frames a second. So this stuff is happening much faster than the human eye could ever pick up. Now we've got a duplication almost giving a W effect. Wow. Yeah. And there it is even stronger.
Like you said, if Greg, if you get a high-speed camera, you'll pick up these things a lot better.
Oh, even if he was just running with this iPhone, I've seen it with an iPhone 11.
Well, iPhones are good.
No, an iPhone 11 Pro Max.
Yeah, iPhones are good.
You can go ahead and record something at slow-mo resolution, which I think is either 120 or 240 frames a second.
Oh, wow.
So you can actually...
It's a lot better than Android phones or whatever.
Yeah,
iPhones
of course,
are meant
yes.
for, picture, video, and editing and stuff like that.
Right. So we've got duplicating to the left, duplicating to the right.
Wow.
Duplicating to the right again. There was that W shape we saw before. But check this out.
The pattern on the right.
Yeah, look at that. But look how scaled up it is. Now you're really seeing that kind of a grid pattern at this point in relation to the object. Now it's
and
there.
You can see when the W is moving, right? You see those lines in between the black lines? They're moving as well.
Yes. You mean these lines right down here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They move with the object or with the lines. They move together.
And now we're getting a lot more structured view of something going along those lines. Now, that could be something potentially from the compression coming from the stuff there. But again, it's... Well,
those are telephone lines, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, yeah.
All right, here's this one. What do you see there?
So then there you go. There's your the telephone lines right there. You see the glow coming off the telephone lines? Well, that's the energy coming off of the telephone lines.
No,
right
it's also something that you get when you're looking at stuff. It's the aliasing going between the dark object and the light object, and you'll
dark
get
and light. Yes.
yeah. Now
Dark light.
look at this.
Like Star Wars.
Can you see? Can you guys see this? Does it look like
That's
Shrek to you? We have two eyes, a nose, and a mouth.
And a beard below it.
The nose gives it away, right?
Only there for one frame.
Snowman.
Shrek. Stay out of my swamp. And now it's back and it's huge.
Now it looks like a Tic Tac.
And it duplicates. Now that looks like a Tic Tac, yes. And we don't know what orientation this thing is to the camera. So if it's a Tic Tac, you could see it like this, or you could see it like that.
So it could very well be a Tic Tac just changing directions.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Another duplication going on.
Yeah, yep.
How much time have we got left? We're at, we're at 49 seconds out of a minute 1. Where is it going to show up? It's gone.
It's still patterning
there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
Let's go back when it's okay. Look at this.
Yeah, it's still patterning.
It's gone. It's disappeared. But look at this part of the screen right here.
Yeah, it's black. There's it's pixeled out.
No. Well, look at this. There is that pattern again.
Yep. And then it's blanked out. And
there's a pattern again, getting more detailed. Fades out.
So cool.
And there's the object.
Yeah.
Look, that's it, dude. Look how it looks like a beehive. Like a honey.
Yeah. It just fades out with it. Wow.
I mean, honeycomb kind of a thing. That's exactly what has been reported by military and airline pilots in the past when they've seen stuff like this.
100%. I talked to an airline pilot up here in Philadelphia when he reported to MUFON, and he said the same thing about a honeycomb type impression in the clouds in the back.
Well, look at this. It's disappeared, but it's getting ready to come back because look, we've got that. We've got this thing showing up. And this looks more like that other style of object. Well, you can't see it. Oh, I can't bring it up. Here we go. It looks similar to this object right here. There we go.
You found in your video and break it down like this so you can see this stuff. What does he do? Huh? How does he do that to be able to see
He
that?
just loves computers, man.
I'm adjusting the brightness and contrast and also going and adding sharpness to it to bring out the details.
Yeah.
So this one here, I put this over you guys. This one here looks similar to what we've got going here again, where you've got those potentially, but again, it's something that's, what the fuck is going on? What are we looking at here? There it is there.
Energy.
And there it is. It's, this almost looks like it's like we're seeing this thing. It's rotated up a little bit, and now we're seeing it from the bottom, maybe. And there it is, right in the center. And the object is gone. Anything else around it? Nope.
Just the lines underneath.
Yeah. Zoom out a little bit so we can see a little bit more. So you can make this large.
On top.
There we go. As large as I can get it to go. Let's there we go with that grid, the grid pattern again. And that's not normal compression noise. You don't see a checkerboard pattern showing up in normal JPEG compression.
Well, you've got checkered, and then you've got right next to it the lines.
Yeah. There's the object.
Yeah.
Pops in 2. We get the grid showing up a little bit more detail. Pops more to the right. as it goes back into the object. And then look where the object is again. We're getting this back again.
Whoa.
And and this is from a different video, just saying. So, you know, it keeps on showing up. The more we look into it, the more that we're seeing the details that are going on. All right, so there we go. Some other stuff happening. So, god damn.
Well, if the details of the patterning are seen, it must be something we should pay attention to.
Oh, God, yeah. This is talking about getting it to the science people and the other who have been looking at this stuff and may have seen examples of this, like Matthew Zedegas and probably, what is his name again? David Mason, who is part of UAPX. He's an image. If you could ever have an imaging expert god, that would be Dave Mason.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Hands down.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of you have seen the TV series V, and the first thing they do is to get all the scientists together so that the less brainiac type motherfuckers don't understand what's happening. And that's the very first thing I would do if I was some sort of weird, creepy lizard alien.
Well, whatever it is, it's something interesting, and it's not that far from our leaders in Washington, D.C. So here we've got those horizontal lines showing up again, which could mean there's something ready to go. I'm trying to get these lights, so I'm not. It's hard to see my fucking. Hold on, let me move this out a little bit.
Hey, let the swear words fly, bro. We're only human. Nobody ever said we was perfect.
All right, now I can see better. There we go.
You can cuss all you want, motherfucker. I don't give
all
a
right,
shit.
now we have to be careful because YouTube can go ahead and say, you swore too much and everything. So we got the lines going, and we've got 2 here now, and then it goes down to closer. We've got some more distortions going on now down near the bottom of them. Going into this one, this is the one where we start seeing that we saw this earlier. Some kind of not venting, but flaring going off into different angles from the overall object as it's moving around.
You know, this is only one part of the video that we're seeing right now, zoomed in. I would love to see what AI would find in the rest.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I uploaded this stuff to ChatGPT, and it came back and it said, it's nothing that can be explained. But it also tied back to other incidents that have been reported in the past of saying, it looks like, especially if you have something that only shows up for a frame and disappears, that ain't normal. It's not weather. It's not any other kind of effects from the camera. We're really looking at an event that happened north of Washington, D.C. And it's not that long ago either, last week.
Yeah.
So it vanished.
That makes it the best because you can research it the best, into it because it's so close.
Mm-hmm. Now, where did it go?
Most of these guys, like in some of these people in that report to MUFON also do historical cases, and they don't get enough credence from the investigators because they're 10 years old or 20 yeyears old, and now they want to report it.
Right. And now we've got some more of the grid stuff showing up on the bottom. I wonder if that means it's been disappeared for the longest period of time so far. And here it is coming back. But when it comes back,
that's a weird pattern underneath of it.
Now we've got a duplication effect with you're seeing more of that white outline going around it and coming out the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Fucking blow the clouds, nigga. Hell yeah. Pardon me. Excuse me.
Yeah, last time. All right, here's another one, too, where we're seeing those patterns going. Jay, look how structured this is.
I'm looking at that as well, and it actually looks like it looks like a building if you're looking at that. Like you see the bottom parts, those lines, and then you look up, you see the white on the outside of this darkened image in the middle of that.
The fuck is it?
That's weird.
Yeah, it is. And it's sticking around for a bit longer. And here we go. Got the duplication coming close to it again. Let's move on a little bit going through it. More of the horizontal lines showing up everywhere at this point. How much time do we have left? We're getting near the bottom. Yeah, we're at the end of this segment.
I just want to say to you, Greg, hands down, really awesome video and probably the best one I've seen so far.
I think so.
I'm glad to know it, man. I hope it gives everybody more hope. And from now on, it's everybody's video, not just mine. So let's enjoy, dissect the hell out of it, and get to the bottom of it, man.
No, Michael Dymock, we're not getting excited of the flaws coming out of here. We're getting excited based on what we're seeing here. And what we're seeing is not flaws in the overall video that we're dealing with, because those flaws that we're seeing are only in conjunction with this little dot. Anywhere else in the overall image, none of this stuff is going on.
Literally like pixels apart right now in this image, and you could blow it up, and it's wow, worthwhile.
Yeah, I mean, heck, let's go ahead and go down here really quick. Okay, we're at the end of it. Let me go ahead and turn off the filter for a second. Actually, leave the filter on. Just go ahead and play it. There's a car that came in at the very end.
Back to Party City where you belong.
But if you look at all the different things that are going on here, none of that stuff is happening in the images that we're looking at. It's only happening relative to the actual object that we're trying to figure out.
It's around the general location of the object is where you see any of the actual images that are imprinted into the clouds.
Yeah. And some people can go ahead and say it's not real. Well, if you don't think it's real, that's fine. We don't go ahead and make you want to have to believe it's real. But what we're seeing here, coming from myself, I've never seen shit like this before. Jay, you've only seen.
If I saw one pattern through this video of a W, I would say, okay, that's nothing. If I saw one pattern of the duplication, I would say, okay, it's duplication. If I saw one pattern of the, anything of just one of the patterns that just came and went, I would say, okay, it was a malfunction, or it was something, but it happens throughout the whole entire video.
Right. And we're not modifying the pixels. All we're doing is we're adjusting the brightness and the contrast and adding a little bit of sharpness just to go ahead and bring out the details so we can see what the hell it is we're looking at.
I think it's a gem, man.
And that's just 2 of the videos, and there may be more, I believe we've got from Greg, we can go ahead and go through, but my God.
Dude, keep sending them.
Yeah. Let me get back to interview guest. Yeah, great conversation so far, checking into all this. Yeah, we've got 2 videos. We'll have to go ahead and spend some more time in the future, go through the rest of them, but there's something more to this than I've ever seen before. When I was asked again by Greg or Tim, what do Greg, what do you think about this? What are we seeing here?
Hey, Greg, have you ever thought
different.
of having a scientific instrument in your house, like a Madar node that checks for magnetic fluxes in the area?
Nah, I typically don't like to know those kinds of things.
Oh, hold on a second. I've got to fix you guys. You look. Oh my God, I got to fix this.
Send me one, dude. I'll check it out, man, for sure.
I've got one actually. I've got to do another one in my house. I can send you one that you can hook up in your house. It does magnetical fluxes in the area, or any gravitational waves or anything in the area. It'll pick it up and it'll go off.
Yeah, it sounds intrusive, man. I mean, I don't know how it would be like I would use it for anything like scientific, you know what I mean? Might try to boil an egg with it, who knows? We'll see by the end of the night. Send it to me anyway. We'll have fun.
Yeah,
have fun with it, man.
It almost seems like, Greg, you just need to go in there and just record more often at that spot, because all life follows patterns.
Or set up a camera above your house.
Perhaps, maybe, but yeah, I have been checking like every day this week. Nothing, man. I'll film it, yeah, for sure. I'm trying to get the same kind of like background, but I've looked every time. Trust me, same times, different times. Yeah.
A good thing to look into is a UDAP cam, which is an artificial intelligence camera that will pick up anything and try to identify it.
Yeah. But again, this is just something Greg is out on his own. He's not in a place where he can set up a permanent camera to go ahead and get this. It's about what can I carry around with me and just record in his iPhone. More the phenomenal job.
You know what? it's better than all the videos that we've been getting out of all the other agencies.
Oh,
anyway,
and
so.
we have looked at actual UAP behavior. We have been the Tankala for a long period of time. We're flapping our gums because Jay is a investigator from MUFON who's been dealing with this for years. I've been into this for a long time. I've never seen anything like this as well. But when you get into the details and see how many things are happening within the camera and everything, that's where it's going to be.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I 100% agree with you, and I hope you continue to record, Greg, and send them our way. Well, I'll deep dive the hell out of it.
What else? We've got one. We've got.
Yeah, folks. I don't know if you guys believe in the psionic effect, but I have been talking to these creatures, or they have been talking to me. And I 100%, I believe that you can summon them to you. It's something that I have been able to observe.
Yeah. Interesting.
I do it often.
All right.
And it.
Yeah. Well, we've got one more video to go through here, Jay. Should we take a look at part of this, you think? Or are we good for today?
Sure, let's go through it real quick.
This one's 38 seconds long. One frame at a time. Won't take as long as the other one. There was a minute and some odd stuff left. Let's go ahead and get back to... Let me get back to... Where am I
This
at?
one looks more silvery in this video. Silvery looking.
Well,
this is how I saw it exactly with my naked eye.
This is how it looks
silvery?
before I go ahead
Exactly.
and adjust the brightness and contrast to go ahead and see what's going on. So
because you got like the light, if you don't adjust it yet, you have like the light coming from the top, you have a darkened bottom, it looks like a sphere.
Yep. Why is that getting so dark now?
Yeah, that's a great,
No, something's going wrong.
yeah.
Why is it turning so frickin' dark? Something, well, I don't know. The OBS is screwing up on me. Let me get back to here again. And
Maximum darkness.
all right, it's showing up right now. I'll leave it at that. Let's go with this one a little bit. Let's see if we can find any more of those disturbances. Some duplication going on. We've got that long line coming out of the back that we've seen in the prior videos before. But if you look at that, it's actually getting echoed going straight down from that particular object. Let's move on, going along
I
with
saw that
it.
with my naked eye too. That's what I saw remembering about the contrail.
Yep.
That's what I saw in the sky, and then it was there and then kind of like dissipated, whatever. But I saw that as well. Yeah.
It's ionizing
here it is.
the clouds and making that pattern, so it has to be some kind of energy, some kind of plasma type or energy type.
Hey, Jay, it's back. That pattern's back again.
Yep.
Right there.
Same
There we
pattern.
go.
It's
And
a
then-
double pattern too, the one we were seeing. Then
Right.
it goes into that one.
And there it is coming into the other one with the more of the rounded objects. And there it is. And there it is again.
Oh my God.
It's appearing at the top of the object, like before it was appearing at the bottom of the object. So this thing that's there a lot of times, well, not that it's either at the edge, but we have seen it in the middle too, but it's those same shapes that keep on repeating.
So Greg, you saw a silver type orb in the sky then with your naked eye.
Confirmed. Yeah, definitely. See, the only thing that bothers me about this right now, I can judge height, which I'm expecting 800 to 1,000 feet, right? But the distance is what's throwing me off. So that way I can't get a grasp on how big or how little this thing was, you know?
Well, distance and size, you would need, I believe, 3 points of reference location for that.
Right, and I'm missing distance. So that's the only thing that's really messing me up right now.
Now, here's the object, right? And we're just about to get that grid pattern to appear above it again. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So there's the grid showing up right in here.
Now, is it going to disappear and appear above this grid pattern?
I think it's going to appear right here where the darkest spot is. Let's find out. And this is the longest we've had that pattern show up. And there it is. Can you see it? Can you see the round?
Same spot.
the round objects again with the other ones going along with it, and it's like we've got two of them that are tied together. Yeah. And there it is.
Yeah.
So, and look at this is different because now this is showing this is around more than one frame, and now the object is there, and this element is still there, whatever the hell it is. And now it's all gone. It's coming back, and we've got some more of that object kind of showing up around it again.
Duplication. Yeah. It's wow.
And now you can almost see like a comet tail that's going away from it, that's traveling up in that area. If I play it back, near real time, just holding the button to advance the frames, you're seeing that line pop out the back, and then it duplicates. And when it duplicates, it's still doing that same thing again.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's venting something out of it. Like a gas or something out of it. Maybe.
And here it is coming out, and here it is coming out of the bottom again.
Yeah, yeah.
Where you're getting that downward kind of a trail coming out of it.
I saw it vent one time with my naked eye. Honest to God, dude. It was like a contrail, but it vented.
Okay, so venting. Yeah, that's what I thought. It looks like it.
We're 10 seconds into a 38-second clip. Oh, what the fuck is that?
Love the swear. I've seen
some
shit.
I know. Let's just focus.
I swear to God, I worked with Dynamics. I worked with DARPA. I worked with Lockheed Martin. I've seen weird things in the sky, and I can guarantee you that ain't us. That's definitely not us.
Yeah, I know. Here's another one. Check. I didn't know you worked with Dynamics. That's cool, Mike.
Oh yeah, it's fucking weird, fucking propeller. Those
the
fuckers,
XP4 and XP6, but they have the 7 and the 9 that has been announced, and that's probably what. Yeah,
the XP4.
That's what the 9, the 7 and the 9 were developed for the Navy. They have they're classified. They haven't been shown yet, but that's likely what we had flying over the eastern coast of the United States about a year ago.
I keep telling these motherfuckers, like, it could be my neighbor's solar panels reflecting the light of the moon, or could be fucking tarot.
Yeah, let's just watch the Fs if we could. So there we go.
Oh, pardon me.
There we go.
Pardon me.
There we go. Then now we've got more of those round objects again, but this one is almost like it's gone completely up, and you can see we've got 3 across going on it, which is different from what we've seen before.
About the patterning.
And now the pattern shifts.
Yeah.
VTOL.
And there it is back again, and it fades out, and there is the object. So why do these patterns show up when the main object fades out?
It's manipulating the energy around the area, and it's causing those waves to appear. Because when you do sound frequency experiments, you can do sound frequency, and you can put sand on the experiment table, and you can see these different patterns appear.
Yeah. And here's those horizontal lines again. They're back.
You sure can, brother. Amen. You sure can. Yeah, you sure can. Upper ionospheric experiments. We don't like to say the acronym, but ICE, the ionosphere experiment.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of weird things.
Yeah, that's the station down in Antarctica with the.
That's HARP.
No, HARP is up in Alaska, and there are multiple arrays in the United States that have HARP-like arrays, and there's multiple ones around the world. So, yeah.
Correct, Tom.
Yeah.
Correct.
Let's just focus on this one that is in low atmosphere. And here we've got those M's again kind of showing up, but it's light now instead of dark. And probably the object when it comes back is going to be this darker spot. Let's see if that's where it shows up. Yep.
Right on the money.
Right on the money again. Okay, it's vanished. That means generally when it's gone away, something else is going to be happening. And we're getting something going on darker right up in here again. And there it is.
There it is.
Right,
It's venting at the bottom.
Right where we see this dark area of like something trying to bleed through the reality. And here
And
we're
you see it venting at the bottom, like those two white lines.
Yep, coming out this way and coming out that way potentially. Whether it's venting or just creating a light. Okay.
Or an energy wave, or
Look
an
at
energy
this.
source, or anything.
It's like part of the sky is being redacted here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. Like, also when the object is disappearing, reappearing, you can see the shapes and stuff. Then the shapes disappear, the object comes back, the shapes disappear behind it, but the object, where the shapes appeared is redacted.
Right.
Like it sucked the energy out of that space.
It's something that's...
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Definitely a good video all of them are good videos to just go into real deep.
And take a deep dive and see what kind of stuff we can actually find going through it.
100%.
And I would put these videos up along with the videos we have of the stuff that happened in Malta in 2021.
Yep, I totally agree with you, Thomas.
Meaning we've got something there that's showing something structured, something going on. But what's cool about this is the stuff that's appearing that goes along with it that, wow.
Anomalous phenomenon happening when it disappears, reappears.
All right, let's move along. Okay, now we got the horizontal line showing up again.
So it should be reappearing, right?
Oh, but no, it's more than that.
Oh,
it's
wow.
horizontal
like
and vertical in a grid.
Oh, wow.
And that's where it appears at the upper corner of the grid, like before.
Yeah, but it's like a checkerboard almost.
Yeah. And then we've got the bigger objects showing up again now. That's it.
Fellas, I know I'm not crazy. I've seen these things change form. I have seen these things change their form.
Yeah.
I'm not that high. Maybe I'm a little bit high, but for real.
I got you,
I've
my
seen
friend.
these things do things that are not anything from my FAA training, and none of that adds up. None of it.
Exactly. Absolutely.
What's that? The observables, right? Hypersonic speed, accelerate, the four observables, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we have something that's stationary or moving around. We're seeing duplication going on. We're seeing invisibility. We're seeing other objects that are showing up that go outside of the 5 observables.
Could even be transmedium travel with the skipping.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's transmedium. Not even that. It's something that's more of a movement of an object that's moving at a different space-time than we are, because you're seeing it skip from here to here to here. Maybe if you had something running 240 frames a second.
Manipulation.
Yeah.
Hey, who knows? I guess we have 2 moons now. I don't know what to believe. We have paramotors, paragliders out here.
Right.
And when I look to the sky, I would like to understand the aerodynamic aspects of, what the F is above my head.
Right.
And the more I look up, the weirder things I keep seeing weird things, and it's like they don't want to stop. Yeah. Like they're rubbing it in our face.
Yeah. Well, it's something we can talk about after the show. Absolutely. Yeah. Mike, interesting conversation tonight. Interesting things to look at. Did we lose Mike? He's had a long day. Jay, I want to thank...
Disclosure.
Yeah.
Disclosure. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me put on my fedora. You know what? You make a good You make a valid point there,
Thomas.
Yeah.
Hey, Thomas. All right. On that note, let me get myself back to the desk and get the sound effects going and say, holy cow,
Go back
folks.
to Party City where you
Yeah,
belong.
hold on, climbing down in the back. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming out tonight. Yeah, we have some exclusive videos, ORB and CLOAKED UFOs, and I wasn't lying, folks. This is the last thing I would lie about. It's something that's amazing, something we're going to have to figure out over time, and can't wait to get this into the hands of the experts out there. Try and figure out what's going on, because there's more videos than what we showed, but we'll get to those on another day. I want to thank everybody for coming out to this episode of Disclosure tonight. I know we had one super chat at the start of the show. Who did that come from? Let me take a look. And fan funding is around here somewhere. All right, we got a super chat that came in tonight from Gizmo for $6.99 Canadian. Thank you very much. What might December bring? Disclosure? I don't know, but we know we've got on November 21st, we've got the release coming of The Age of Disclosure. Can't wait to see where that's going to go. Not sure if it's going to have videos as good as we just showed tonight, but you know what, folks? This is the kind of stuff we live for. This is the kind of stuff we try to bring out, and as we usually say at the end of every episode of Disclosure tonight, eyes open, no fear, be safe, everyone, but...
Go back to Party City where you belong.
Absolutely. We'll catch you in the flip side. Good night, everybody. See you soon. Y'all come back now here